Shohei Ohtani came back from a day off with one of the most important swings of the entire season. A two-run home run in the fifth inning. Go-ahead shot. The Dodgers in front for the first time all night. And then Irvin walked out of the bullpen, and everything fell apart. 5 runs in the 7th. 8 hits in 6 innings. A 9-4 loss to the Red Sox. Ohtani was brilliant. The pitching was not. And the story of Friday night at Dodger Stadium is one of the most frustrating results of the 2026 season. Let's break it all down right now. Welcome back. Tonight we are breaking down the series opener between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox at Dodger Stadium. A game that had everything. Shohei Ohtani returning from a knee rest day with a double and a go-ahead 2-run home run. Freddie Freeman extending his hitting streak to 10 games, the longest by any Dodger this season. And a bullpen game plan that unraveled completely in the 7th inning, handing Boston a convincing 9-4 victory. This was a scheduled bullpen game for the Dodgers. No traditional starter. Edgardo Enriquez as the opener, followed by Klein, and then Irvin eating the majority of the innings. It is a strategy Dave Roberts had been planning, but against a Red Sox team that finished July 21st and 4th, the best winning percentage in a single month in Boston franchise history, it was a night where the plan was simply not good enough. If you are new here, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. We have every detail of how this game played out, what the individual performances meant, and what this loss says about where the Dodgers stand heading into August. Let's get into it. To understand what happened on Friday night, you first need to understand the context the Dodgers were operating in. This was a scheduled bullpen game, a planned decision by Dave Roberts to preserve the starting rotation heading into a busy stretch of the schedule. With 6 starters in the rotation and the need to manage workloads carefully, the Dodgers designated this as a day where relievers would carry the load. Edgardo Enriquez would open. Klein would follow. And veteran left-hander Irvin, called up from AAA earlier Friday in his first MLB appearance since September 2024, would eat as many innings as possible to protect the bullpen for the final 2 games of the series. The strategy made sense on paper. But the opponent made it extremely difficult to execute. The Boston Red Sox came into Dodger Stadium riding one of the hottest stretches any team has produced in recent baseball history. Their July record of 21 wins and 4 losses represented the best winning percentage in a single month in Red Sox franchise history. A stunning run of form built on aggressive offense, sharp starting pitching, and the kind of collective confidence that defines teams playing their best baseball at exactly the right time. 9 of the first 20 Red Sox batters reached base safely on Friday night. That number tells you everything about how quickly the Dodgers' pitching plan came under pressure. Edgardo Enriquez handled the first inning cleanly, a scoreless frame that kept things level and gave the Dodgers a chance to strike first with the bat. But Klein came on in the 2nd inning and immediately ran into serious trouble. Boston got on the board in the top of the 2nd. Klein issued a walk to Caleb Durbin, and then made an errant pickoff attempt that allowed Durbin to advance. Jarren Duran, who had won the MVP award at last Tuesday's All-Star Game and was continuing that form into the second half, delivered an RBI single to give the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. It was a run that came directly from a defensive mistake rather than a great offensive play, and it set an uncomfortable tone for the entire first half of the game. The 3rd inning was worse. Klein loaded the bases with 1 out, Nick Sogard and Cedin Rafaela hit consecutive singles, and then hit Wilson Contreras in the side of the helmet with a pitch. Contreras stayed in the game under his own power, but the hit batter forced in a run and put the Red Sox ahead 2-0. A defensive blunder from Freddie Freeman at first base on a Masataka Yoshida chopper then allowed 2 more runs to score, pushing the deficit to 3-0. Klein was charged with 3 runs, 1 earned, across 1 1/3 innings. His mechanics have been an issue for 3 weeks, and Friday was another painful example of what happens when a pitcher cannot command his pitches against an aggressive lineup. Irvin was called in to replace him, stepping into the fire for his Dodgers debut with the bases already loaded and the team already trailing. The Dodgers were in a 3-run hole before they had even recorded their first hit of the game. Shohei Ohtani had been given Thursday off to rest his left knee, a day of recovery that Dave Roberts felt was necessary given the lingering soreness that has kept the two-way superstar off the mound since July 3rd. Returning to the lineup on Friday, Ohtani wasted absolutely no time announcing that the rest had done its job. Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning against Red Sox starter Ranger Suarez, Ohtani drove the first hit of the night for the Dodgers, an opposite field double into the gap that put him in scoring position with nobody out. It was the Dodgers' first base hit of the entire game, and it immediately changed the energy inside Dodger Stadium. Site index equals 26-1. Ohtani reached on a leadoff double after returning to the lineup following a day off on Thursday to rest his knee. Sites he did not look completely comfortable on the base paths given the ongoing knee situation, but he did not need to run hard to reach second base on the double. The quality of the contact was what mattered, and it was excellent. Freddie Freeman followed immediately with an RBI single that scored Ohtani and cut the deficit to 3-1. Site index equals 20-1. Freeman went 3 for 4 and extended his hitting streak to 10 games, longest by a Dodger this season. Site that hitting streak is a remarkable piece of consistency from a player who has been one of the most reliable hitters in the National League all season. Freeman is not hitting just for average during this streak. He is driving in runs, hitting in key moments, and giving the Dodgers exactly what they need from their first baseman every single night. 1 run. 1 double from Ohtani. 1 RBI single from Freeman. The Dodgers were back in the game. The 5th inning is where this game reached its most electric moment, and where Shohei Ohtani delivered one of his best swings of the entire season. The inning started with Kyle Tucker drawing a walk and Kike Hernandez following with a single. The Dodgers had runners on base with the momentum beginning to swing in their direction. Eliezer Alfonso stepped up and delivered an RBI single that brought the Dodgers within 1 run at 3-2, but Kike Hernandez was thrown out rounding second base on the same play, a base-running mistake that would prove costly in hindsight. That out mattered because of what happened next. Ranger Suarez had done enough damage for the Red Sox to pull him from the game. Left-hander Giovanni Moran came in from the Boston bullpen to face Ohtani. The matchup, left-handed pitcher against right-handed superstar with the game on the line, was exactly the situation every baseball fan wants to see. Site index equals 25-1. In the 5th, after Eliezer Alfonso's RBI single brought the Dodgers within 1 run and chased Suarez from the game, Ohtani erased LA's deficit by smoking a 2-1 changeup from Moran out to right field. Site. A 2-run home run. His 24th of the season. On a 2-1 changeup that Ohtani turned on and sent into the right field stands with the kind of authority that only a handful of hitters in the sport can produce on that pitch in that location. The Dodgers had gone from trailing 3-0 to leading 4-3 in less than 2 innings, and Shohei Ohtani was the reason. Dodger Stadium erupted. Ohtani rounded the bases calmly, the way elite hitters do when they know the swing was everything it needed to be. It was his second hit of the night, his second RBI, and the go-ahead run in a game the Dodgers had trailed since the 2nd inning. Site index equals 22-1. Ohtani was 2 for 5 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs a night after sitting out because of lingering soreness in his left knee that has kept the two-way superstar off the mound since July 3. Site. For one moment on Friday night, everything was going the Dodgers' way. They had the lead. They had momentum. They had Ohtani. What happened next is what will define the memory of this game. Irvin had been managing the game reasonably well through the first 6 innings. Not dominating, not pristine, but doing the job the Dodgers needed from him in a bullpen game situation. He was eating innings, keeping the Red Sox from completely blowing the game open, and giving the relievers behind him a chance to rest. And then the 7th inning happened. Site index equals 21-1. The Red Sox took back the lead in the 7th when Cedin Rafaela hit a 2-run home run off Irvin. Site Irvin had issued a leadoff walk to Nick Sagard to open the inning, and Rafaela immediately made him pay, a 405-foot shot to left field that scored Sagard and gave Boston a 5-4 lead. 1 leadoff walk. 1 swing. Lead gone. But the Red Sox were not done. They kept the inning alive with consecutive hits. Abreu, Masataka Yoshida, and Jarren Duran loading the bases and maintaining maximum pressure on an Irvin who had nothing left. Site index equals 21-1. Andrew Monasterio doubled in another 2 runs to give the Red Sox a commanding lead. Site Duran then added an RBI groundout that extended the score to 8-4. Boston had scored 5 runs in 1 inning and completely erased everything the Dodgers offense had worked so hard to build. It was a collapse that followed a by-now-familiar pattern for the Dodgers in this stretch. The offense produces, the pitching fails to protect it, and the game slips away in one catastrophic inning. The 7th inning on Friday was the clearest and most damaging example of that pattern yet. Site index equals 26-1. Irvin finished his outing allowing 6 runs on 8 hits over 6 innings with 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. Site his numbers were not disqualifying. 6 innings in a bullpen game saves the rest of the relief staff, but the timing of the damage he allowed made the result feel far worse than the raw numbers suggest. Carlos Narvaez added a sacrifice fly in the 9th inning to make it 9-4 and complete the scoring for Boston. When you step back and look at the full statistical picture of Friday's game, the story is clear. This was a pitching failure on a night when the offense gave the team every reason to win. The Dodgers scored 4 runs. They had solid contributions from Ohtani, Freeman, Alfonso, and Hernandez. They battled back from 3 runs down to take the lead in the 5th inning. That is a genuine offensive performance against a Red Sox staff that had been one of the best in the American League all month. But the pitching allowed 9 runs on 12 hits across the game. While Klein gave up 3 runs in 1 1/3 innings, many of them coming from his own defensive mistakes. Irvin allowed 6 runs across his 6 innings, with the damage concentrated in one catastrophic 7th inning that turned a 4-3 Dodgers lead into a 9-4 Red Sox runaway. The Dodgers also hurt themselves with poor defense and base running. Freeman's error at first base in the 3rd inning directly allowed 2 runs to score. Hernandez being thrown out rounding second base in the 5th inning cost the Dodgers a run that, given how the game unfolded, might have been the difference between winning and losing had it scored. These are the kinds of mistakes that championship teams cannot afford. And on Friday night the Dodgers made too many of them. The Red Sox moved to 58-51 on the season. The Dodgers fell to 69-41, still the best record in the National League, still firmly in first place in the NL West, but a team that has now lost consecutive series openers at home and needs to respond in the final 2 games of this weekend. Before we get to the big picture, a quick update on Shohei Ohtani's physical situation, because it remains the most closely monitored story surrounding this team. Ohtani was given Thursday off specifically to rest his left knee. The lingering soreness that has kept him off the pitching mound since July 3 has not resolved to the point where the Dodgers feel comfortable putting him through a starter's delivery. His return to the lineup on Friday showed that he can still hit effectively. The opposite field double and the go-ahead home run were both high-quality swings that demonstrated his bat speed and contact ability have not been significantly affected by the knee. Site index equals 26-1, back in the Dodgers lineup after a day off to address lingering soreness in his left knee, Ohtani had the Dodgers' first hit, an opposite field double into the gap off Red Sox left-hander Ranger Suarez in the 4th inning. Site. Dave Roberts was clear after the game about the team's philosophy on managing Ohtani's workload. Site index equals 26-1, you just can't chase every single win, every single night, Roberts said. It's not responsible. It's just not the right process. Site, that statement reflects a broader organizational commitment to managing Ohtani carefully through the rest of the regular season, protecting his long-term health and keeping him as close to full strength as possible for October. His pitching timeline remains unclear. The bullpen session in Philadelphia went well, but a subsequent regression led to the Dodgers pausing his pitching progression. The next step will be determined based on how his knee responds to treatment and rest over the coming days. For now, the Dodgers are getting the best version of Ohtani the bat, and on Friday night that version was excellent. Here is the bottom line from Friday night at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers lost 9-4 to one of the hottest teams in baseball. Their pitching plan for a bullpen game unraveled in the 7th inning, with Irvin unable to hold a lead after doing his job for most of the contest. Defensive mistakes and poor base running cost additional runs. And a game the offense had fought back to win, on the strength of Ohtani's go-ahead home run and Freeman's extended hitting streak, was handed back to the Red Sox in one devastating inning. Those are real problems. And they are problems that need real solutions before October arrives. But here is what also happened on Friday night. Shohei Ohtani returned from a rest day, doubled in his first at-bat, and hit a go-ahead 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Freddie Freeman went 3 for 4 and extended his hitting streak to 10 games. The offense generated 4 runs against a Red Sox pitching staff that had been dominant all month. The Dodgers are 69-41, still the best record in the National League, still the favorites to reach the World Series. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the best pitcher on the roster when healthy, starts Saturday. The trade deadline closes on Sunday with reinforcements expected, and the roster that was built to win in October is still very much intact. One loss does not change the destination. The response starts tomorrow.